It's one thing to be here talking about a wonderfully important and successful program. But a program like this takes years to envision, years to develop, and years to ensure its implementation. Our next speaker is the director of the National Marine Sanctuary Office within the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. It's the office that manages our national marine sanctuaries, and it's the office that puts on programs like Ocean for Life. Dan Basta has been head of the program for more than 25% of the years that we've had national marine sanctuaries. We're celebrating the 40th anniversary of our national marine sanctuaries this year. Dan's been at the program since 2000. Dan has led the program not only as it grows, but as it evolves and as it addresses today's ever-complicated challenges. And he is the visionary behind Ocean for Life, and it's his exceptional team that have put it together. With that, Dan.
Thanks, Justin, and thank you all so much for being here. Governor, that was fabulous. That was absolutely fantastic. So you sort of know who I am. You sort of know what national sanctuaries are about. One of the interesting facts about them is that we actually are responsible for managing about 172,000 square miles of our national real estate, which is more than all national parks and all national wildlife refuges combined. There's only one difference. It's all under one. Makes it a little bit less successful. Richard, you got to dive more places. So it's really special for me to be here tonight with all of you to speak about Ocean for Life, because as Jason hinted, it's a particular passion of mine. But it's also particularly important to me because I'm a native New Yorker. That's what it is. And in fact, at a point in my career, I was even an employee of the City of New York. And I was born just across the bridge. And as being born there, we have always considered New York to be part of Brooklyn. But to get a little more serious about this, you've seen the Genesis video, as we call it. The loss of our friends and colleagues and students that day burned into the fabric of every single person in the National Marine Sanctuary system. And the most likely to everyone in this room. It's the anger, the sorrow, the horror of it that it brought. And in many people, it was a thirst for revenge. But what could we do in our lives, in our program, and what we do for this country to fight the war on terror? What would we bring to the table for that? We do not deal in bombs and bullets. So we began to consider the motivations that were hinted on of why does a young person, strap bombs on themselves and blow themselves up, or drive an airplane into a city? How can this misunderstanding, this tribalism, and this hatred be overcome? How could we, in what we do in our part of the world, how could we get at the foundations of what led to that day in September? And we asked ourselves a pretty big question. Could marine sanctuaries make a contribution by creating opportunities to help address the causes rather than the symptoms? The causes of the misunderstanding that resulted in that September day by engaging youth, and youth in that multicultural learning experiences. Experiences that would, by their very nature, foster and create an understanding of each other, appreciation of different cultures, and most importantly, the common ground that we all as human beings possess, and the connectedness of us all. Considering all of these matters, Ocean for Life was born. It was born, and we decided we would try to use the metaphor that oceans connect us all to make our contribution to the war on terror. 9/11 and the events that followed made it clear to all of us that it's all of our jobs. If you ask me if it's my job in government, yes it is. Is it your job as citizens? Yes it is. And we began to create this program. It took a long time. It took many individuals, particularly in the military, and the coalition forces, in the State Department, in overseas colleagues, at National Geographic, and some extraordinarily awesome American citizens who all worked together behind the scenes to make ocean life a reality. And I can only say, and those of you in this room I'm sure appreciate this, there are many stories to tell about how it came to be and how it worked. And we're here tonight because if there's any place in this entire country that has suffered more in the wake of 9/11 than New York, I don't think so. But most importantly as well, is there any place that has more power to influence things than New York? I don't think so. And quite frankly, Oceans for Life is not a mighty program, but it's a vital program. It's a program of cultural engagement that, if sustained by the community that is New York, because of the power of what is New York, can help alter the current course that bring us to where we are today by building a new generation of cooperation and mutual trust. Ocean for Life needs your help. It has to continue to live. We all recognize that there is not a quick fix to this problem. This is a problem that will take time, decades of cultural engagement. And we need to make sure that programs like Ocean for Life, which are so vital, continue. And I can tell you from personal experience that Ocean for Life works on many levels. And I want to leave you with a very short story, true story, that I say speaks volumes to this. And we talked about it earlier, and you're going to hear from one of the people who were there. It's a story about a Pakistani Army colonel, a commander of a tank brigade in the Kashmir, a hard-bitten combat leader who was assigned to Central Command and found himself as a chaperone of Pakistani children participating in Ocean for Life. Weeks before, he had been in the Kashmir looking eyeball to eyeball across that demilitarized zone, and now he was at American University chaperoning children. He was a polite man, proud, respectful, but you could tell he was very uncomfortable that day at American University. What am I doing here? What is with these kids? I'm a combat leader. I'm a warrior. Why am I chaperoning children? Polite man. Did not come out and say it quite like that, but trust me, that was really what was working in the back of his mind. 10 days later, I caught up with the colonel at the OFL field experience in Santa Cruz, California. And the students were learning to surf. Now, it's been 10 days. These children from the Middle East and from around the U.S. had been together for 10 days. And they were like one. It's as if they were born in the same community. We don't have to teach them how to do this. This just is part of what humans do before they get, let's say, tribalized or conditioned by the world around them. The colonel had been with those kids for the 10 days as a chaperone to children. Well, he came up to me that day in a very, very different demeanor. He was excited. He was full of hope and praise. And he was a quiet man, but he couldn't stop talking. And he said this. He said, "The last 10 days have changed my life." He said, "I now got it." He said, and I'm quoting him, "This might have been one of the most important things he has ever experienced. 22 years as a warrior, power elite, And then he made a statement that I know sort of validated his view. He said this, he said, "We must create an OFL experience for Pakistan and India. Somehow we have to give our youth experience like this that connect them, or we will never resolve our bitter problems." This was a hard-bitten individual who saw it and got it. Ocean for Life works. I want to again thank you all for being here. I want to ask you to contribute in any way you can, or point us to people who you think would want to contribute to these programs. They're vital to our long-term success in so many ways. Thanks very much.